It's that time again. Summer is drawing to a close, and kids in many parts of the world have been going back to school. But back to school in Ukraine looks quite a bit different. This was the first day of school for kids in Kryvyi Rih in central Ukraine. They were forced to spend part of it in a bunker because of the air raid sirens overhead. They are some of the nearly 4 million children who went back to school on September the 1st. Children who have now lived through a year and a half of war. A year ago, we introduced you to several Ukrainian students in Kyiv. This year, we've come back to see how some of those same kids are doing. I met up with 15-year-old Masha, 16-year-old Lera, and 11-year-old Maria, all from Kyiv. I also spoke with Vika, 14, from close to the border with Russia. And I met two students, both named Maxime, a 10-year-old from Kyiv and a 16-year-old who is from the eastern city of Severodonetsk, now under Russian control. So the first question I have is, what's it been like for another year like this? So, like, it might have started out and you may have thought this was a brief thing, but now, does it feel like this is the new life that you have? Like, you know, kind of going to school while a war is going on?
It is a new thing for all of us, but I think we got used to it because we've had this routine for last year, and now it doesn't really feel like there's something unusual about it. Just a new life we have to get used to.
So Maxim, you come from a town, Severodonetsk, which is now occupied by the Russians, right? When did that happen, and where were you? When did you leave?
We stayed at the city a very long time, so there are 66 days of bombarding our city, and
And you were there while that was happening.
And the line of front, was we're near to city, so, and there are Russian soldiers, so we were close.
That must have been scary.
Yeah.
And you could hear the bombardment?
Yeah, the bombardment, the artillery, and even AK-74 or something like that also were heard.
Do any of you know somebody who's fighting?
Yes, unfortunately my mother is fighting right now, and I can say that she's sometimes at the front line, sometimes not, but I hope she will be okay.
And she's actually on the front lines?
She can help, she can cure some soldiers. So she's
in
nurse,
the medevac units,
yes.
But that's all right at the front line?
Sometimes yes, sometimes not.
Do you get scared?
I was very scared, I was crying a lot in the autumn, and it was very scary for me and for my family, for my brother and father. But now it's okay because I get used to it, unfortunately. And sometimes when I just think about that I got used to the thought that my mom can possibly die at any moment, it's just, I can say that, I can't say any words about that. I think any child can't express that.
Masha, I remember when you were on the show the last time, you talked about how you had a message for Putin, and how you said, you know, does he realize how much pain and destruction he's causing? Do you feel like, has your message changed 1 year later?
Definitely no, because this year of war feels much more personal for me, because my dad is fighting on the first line. It's really hard for me to say. But, you know, it's not the same situation for me as Vika, because she said she used to it. And I understand her, but for me, you know, it's really hard to live with the thought that your father can die. And you can lose him anytime. So for me, I think this message is still very meaningful.
Wow. Do you think you have lost some of the innocence of childhood?
All of us.
All.
Russians took away from us our childhood
And our teenage years.
What do you fantasize about? If you think about, what's the thing you look forward to, you hope for?
I think the peace. I just want to live in peace, and I don't want to be scared about anything in my life.
Max, if this war wasn't going on, what do you think you'd be able to do?
I'd be able to go to the tournaments in other countries. Like I'm playing football. My hobby is football. I love playing football, and I could go with my team to some tournaments, not only in Kiev. We could go to other countries and maybe other towns.
Have any of you changed your minds about what you'll do with your life because of this war?
Of course, I really want now to go and have a job in the fields of international relationships and international law, because I don't want any child ever experience what we're going through now, me, Masha, and every child in Ukraine. It doesn't matter. It's South. It's just all Ukraine.
War actually gave me some certainty, because before I was doubting about my career, but right now I'm pretty sure I want to be a journalist. I just want to spread information about ongoing problems in the world, because since the war started, I realized how important informational war is.
Maria, what do you think?
I don't know what I would do in future, but I sure know I want to live in Ukraine. Like, I lived some time in America, and it wasn't my home. I wanted to live here. I want to go to school here. I want to, make our country better.
Any of you wanted any lessons for teenagers?
The main piece of advice for me is very basic. Enjoy every moment of your life, because you don't know what is going to be the next. You don't know whether you're going to be with your mother or father, or they will be gone, or your friends, or the path of your life. It's very unpredictable. And the same was when we woke up on the 24th of February and we realized that that's not the same life as I was living last day. So yeah.
Well, you guys have been amazing and very kind to share all this with us and to share it with the world. I hope we can come back and do this with Ukraine in peace.